the officials talking about leaking reports. Now, in the reports that they have purportedly leaked is the description of a 5-hour meeting between National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and Canadian intelligence officials in Singapore. And they've given a specific date in October. I wanted to get a sense from you, firstly, did the NSA in fact meet with Canadian officials in October to discuss the case, and in particular the details about a gang run by a man called Lawrence Bishnoi? And if so, I wanted to get a sense from the government if for the last year the government has consistently said that Canada has given no evidence, dismissed any allegations made by Canada in the Niger killing, then why did the NSA actually go all the way to Singapore to meet with Canadian intelligence? Thank you.
Yes, this is Raghavendra Verma from ZDF German television. This is regarding India-China relations. So following the disengagement at the border, has or will the economic ties improve? Has some measures already been taken? There were reports of denial visa for the Chinese technicians in India. And connected to this is the conversation between the Indian and German ministers in the metro talking about the delay in the machinery from German machinery made in China to India. How serious is that, and whose jurisdiction is it to speak to the Chinese about that delay? What the Germans will do, or Indian government has already done, or what else is being done to normalize the economic relations, and will that happen follow up soon?
Please.
सर, अशोक जी न्यूज़ से मेरे 2 सवाल हैं। एक, क्या यूएस ने अभी लॉरेंस बिश्नोई के भाई के बारे में किसी तरीके का डिटेल शेयर किया है फॉर एक्सट्रेडिशंस? मुंबई पुलिस इसकी तफ्तीश कर रही है। दूसरा, भारत की एक निजी कंपनी है जिन्होंने एक लेटर लिखकर बांग्लादेश को कहा है कि पैसे दो और बिजली लो। इस पर किसी तरीके की जानकारी MEA को है?
दूसरा सवाल अब क्या था?
एक निजी कंपनी है, एनर्जी कंपनी है, जिन्होंने ये कहा है कि बिजली लेना है तो पैसे दो।
ठीक। मोहन एंड ऋषभ, आप दोनों का सवाल एक है कि कनाडा ने भारत को एक अलग किस्म के कैटेगरी में डाला है, उसके बारे में आप हमारी प्रतिक्रिया मांग रहे हैं। ये जो कैटेगराइजेशन उन्होंने किया है, ये अपने साइबर का उन्होंने एक रिपोर्ट जारी किया है, उसके तहत किया है। सो आई वुड लाइक टू आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन फॉर ऋषभ, फॉर यू एज वेल। वी सी दिस अपीयर्स टू बी अनदर एग्जांपल ऑफ अ कैनेडियन स्ट्रेटजी टू अटैक इंडिया। ये भारत को एक तरीके से फिर से अटैक करने की एक रणनीति है। एज आई मेंशन्ड अर्लियर, देयर सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स हैव ओपनली कन्फेस्ड that they are seeking to manipulate global opinion against India. As on other occasions, imputations are made without any evidence. तो अनर्गल बात कह के मोहन जी और निराधार बात कह के आप हम पर आरोप थोप रहे हैं, ये बात बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं है। Rishabh, on your questions regarding surveillance, yes, some of our consular officials have were recently informed by the Canadian government that they have been and continued to be under audio and video surveillance. Their communications have also been intercepted. We have formally protested to the Canadian government as we deem these actions to be a flagrant violation of relevant diplomatic and consular conventions. By citing technicalities, the Canadian government cannot justify the fact that it is indulging in harassment and intimidation. Our diplomatic and consular personnel are already functioning in an environment of extremism and violence. This action of the Canadian government aggravates the situation and is incompatible with established diplomatic norms and practices. To answer your question regarding the meeting, yes, the meeting did take place. I had in fact confirmed this earlier also in the earlier presser that we had, and again reiterate that Canada so far has not share with us any shred of evidence in the matter that you referred to. Raghavendra, on economic ties.
Why would you meet with them?
Sorry? There are several issues that you discuss when you meet. Raghavendra, a question on India-China economic ties. We had also issued a press release after our leaders met in Kazan. As agreed at the leaders' meeting in Kazan, relevant dialogue mechanisms at the level of foreign ministers and other officials will be utilized or used to stabilize and rebuild bilateral relations. We will let you know more when these mechanisms meet. We'll let you know when these mechanisms meet to deal with issues of each other's interest and concerns. So let these meetings happen, and then we'll have further developments in regard to the question that you asked. As far as development regarding machinery, etc. See, India-Germany collaboration or economic cooperation is a large canvas. We have several issues which arise from time to time. These issues are resolved, these issues are solved in an amicable manner. Hopefully, whatever issues that are there, it will also be resolved to the best of satisfaction of both sides. अशोक, आपने बात कही अनमोल बिश्नोई की. ये जो मसला है, इन सब चीज़ों पे अभी इन्वेस्टिगेशन चल रहा है, छानबीन चल रही है, और इन सब बातों, ये सब जो बातें हैं ये लीगल डोमेन में आती है, और चूंकि लीगल डोमेन में आती हैं, जो स्टैब्लिश्ड प्रोसीजर्स है उसके तहत इस मसले पे कार्रवाई होगी. जहाँ तक आपने बात कही.
And that is the MEA news briefing over the face-off between India and Canada, and over the fresh allegations that have been leveled by Canada against India. We have the latest update coming in from Kashmir on the Kashmir encounter. We're learning that 4 officers have been injured in the Kashmir encounter. That include 2 CRPF officers and 2 Jammu and Kashmir police officers. We'll cut across to Zeenath to give us details, as we understand that it is a challenging operation for our forces. This encounter that is underway in downtown Srinagar, in Kashmir, which is heavily populated with big homes adjacent to each other, and terrorists that is trapped in one of these homes, and the locals who have been told to vacate. Will try and play out deferred pictures of the operation that we have so far, as Zeenath will join us shortly to take us through the latest. Yes, these are deferred pictures coming in from Kashmir. Zeenath would be able to confirm why this particular house that is on fire, and how exactly is this related to the ongoing operation. But we do understand that a terrorist was trapped in one of these homes, and it was challenging for our forces to ensure that the locals do not get impacted in the ongoing operation. An encounter between the forces and terrorists where firing was on from both sides. I want to cut across to Zeenath as we stay with these pictures. Zeenath, what happened?
See, as far as the encounter in Srinagar's downtown Kashmir area is concerned, we are seeing that now the operation is in the last stage, because we are seeing the smoke coming out from the target house, and that tells you, and it has completely covered the sky. And earlier the gunshots were also heard. Now that gunshots have stopped, because this operation started somewhere around 8:15 or 8:20 in the morning, when the first gunshot was heard here in the Ghania downtown area of Srinagar. The Jammu and Kashmir Police, the Srinagar District Police has received an input about the presence of a terrorist in one of the residential house, and accordingly the CASO was launched, the reinforcement and the other men in machinery was pushed to this Khaniar locality. We have been seeing the top cops of J&K Police and the CRPF themselves are monitoring the situation and are very much present here on this very spot. As of now, the two SOG personals have received the injury in this ongoing encounter, and also the Valley QT boys of CRPF Srinagar sector have received the injuries. They all have been evacuated and are getting their treatment at the military base hospital in Srinagar. This is the second encounter coming from the Kashmir Valley. Earlier, we have also seen an encounter in Kokarnag where the two terrorists, the one local and the one Pakistani terrorist, have been neutralized. One of the local has been identified as Zahid, who comes from the Hasanpora. The local terrorist of Anantnag, he has joined the terror ranks in the month of April this year, and he too has been neutralized. There also the arms and ammunition have been recovered. And in Srinagar now we see the Pakistani terrorist have been has been trapped. As per the sources within this the operation that they are dealing with, they do tell us that is a Pakistani terrorist who has been trapped in this encounter, and he comes from the Lashkar-e-Toiba, which is a Pak-based terror outfit in Srinagar, and he has been active for the last couple of years in the valley. And finally, last evening, the Srinagar police have received an intel about the presence of a Pakistani terrorist. Accordingly, the men and machinery was mobilized. And finally, we are also seeing in the morning, we witnessed the evacuation process was carried by Jammu and Kashmir police. The civilians, the locals of this very area where this encounter is going on, they were all evacuated and were put at a safe place so that there is no collateral damage or there is no infrastructural damage, for which the precautions have been taken. All the SOPs have been followed by the joint forces who are in action here with the Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists. As of now, the encounter is still underway, and also we are seeing the fire service have been also been pressed into the service. The cordon operations and the cordon operation still continues here in the Khaniar. As far as the external or the internal cordon is concerned, that is still there, and although the movement of the local, the life has not been disturbed, we are seeing the traffic flying, and also the civilian movement has not been restricted. That tells you about the professionalism of the forces, where you are carrying an operation, a kind of a sensitive operation, but simultaneously the civilian life is not getting disturbed.
All right, Zeenat, many thanks for getting us those details. Of course, we keep coming back to you for further updates. For the moment, a quick check of what else is making news. And the latest sports news: veteran forward Neymar and Real Madrid teenager Edric have been left out of Brazil's squad for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Venezuela and Uruguay. Brazil manager Dorival Jr. said it was too soon to recall the 32-year-old. Rising Indian shuttler Malvika Bansor progressed to the semi-finals of the Hilo Open, defeating higher-ranked Ted Olin Nguyen of Vietnam. Malvika will next face 8th seed Denmark's Julie Dewald Jacobsen in the semi-finals. Dimitrios' brace fired East Bengal FC into the knockout stage of the AFC Challenge League 2024-25 as the ISL side edged past Nejmeh SC of Lebanon 3-2 in their final Group A match. UEFA fined the Serbian Soccer Federation €52,000 on Friday for misconduct by fans who jeered Switzerland's national anthem and displayed an anti-Kosovo banner. Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman and Federal Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi said the Indian fans who want to visit Pakistan for the Champions Trophy will have a brisk visa issuance policy. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has encouraged his players to draw inspiration from tennis legend Rafael Nadal, urging them to play through the pain. The injury-stricken Man City will be missing 9 of their first-team players in the upcoming IPL match. Thibaut Courtois' reportedly returning to training have given Real Madrid a major boost. The Belgian goalie might return for the Champions League game against AC Milan. Veteran Indian tennis player Rohan Bopanna and his Australian partner Matthew Ebden made a quarter-final exit from Paris Masters after suffering a hard-fought defeat in the men's doubles contest. Massive uprising after Hindus unite in Bangladesh, raising their voice against atrocities against Hindu minorities.
In the global employability rankings by Times Higher Education UK, only the following 6 institutions from India are ranked amongst the top 230 in the world for having the most employable graduates: IIT Delhi, IISc Bangalore, IIT Bombay, IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Kharagpur and Amity University.
این مجازات برای رژیم غاصب صهیونی در برابر جنایت‌های حیرت آور اون رژیم بود.
I'm Suesha Savant. As we continue to get you all the top stories we're tracking for you this Saturday afternoon, the on-ground situation in Kashmir after mega anti-terror operations are underway, and also the latest from Bangladesh, where Hindus have united to speak up against the attacks that are being carried out against them. That and much more. First, a quick check of the headlines. Massive Republic Kannada impact. CM Siddaramaiah asked state government to withdraw all notices issued to farmers across the state.
आज संथाल परगना का हालत क्या है? संथाल परगना का हालत हिंदू 90% से घट के 67% हो चुका है और मुसलमान 10% से बढ़ के आज मुसलमान का आबादी 40% का लगभग हो चुका है.
Assam Chief Minister questions Jharkhand government, says Hindu population decreased from 90% to 67% in the state. Two terrorists gunned down in Anantnag encounter. Bags of terrorists recovered along with arms and ammunition.
अब आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि पाकिस्तान कर रहे हैं।
नहीं, सवाल ही नहीं। मैं इस बात में ये कहूँगा कि इस पर तहकीकात होनी चाहिए। हो कैसे रहा है, इसके बजाय कि इनको मारें, इनको पकड़ना चाहिए और पकड़ के हमें मालूम करना चाहिए कौन इनके पीछे। कोई ऐसी एजेंसी तो पीछे नहीं है जो उमर अब्दुल्ला को डिस्टेबलाइज करना चाहता है।
Farooq flip-flops again, says Pakistan cannot be blamed every time for attacks. Agency is involved to destabilize Omar government.
तो इन्वेस्टमेंट में कर्नाटक नंबर 1 हो गया था और महाराष्ट्र पीछे हो गया था, जबकि महाराष्ट्र में देश की आर्थिक राजधानी है। महाराष्ट्र फिर नंबर 1 पे आ गया है। तो यह दर्शाता है कि कांग्रेस जब जब सत्ता में आती है तो जो कहा गया वो कभी पूरा नहीं कर पाती।
BJP fires at Congress over freebie statement, says every state where Congress rules goes bankrupt. First up, we cut across to the on-ground situation in Bangladesh, where Hindus have united to speak up against the atrocities leveled against them ever since the change in regime. This, remember, as the Yunus government had committed that they will protect Hindu minorities in Bangladesh, but that is far from what the reality is after those atrocities against them and all that they've had to go through. That is a massive protest that is being staged in Bangladesh, where over 30,000 Hindus have united in Dhaka to raise their voice against the atrocities against minorities. Remember, the situation is concerning, and in the latest, Donald Trump had also spoken on what is happening with Hindus in Bangladesh. But there you see how they've all come together to raise their voice against the atrocities on Hindus. 30,000 protesters there on the ground as the Yunus government faces a massive backlash.
উপস্থিত সুধীমণ্ডলী, আমরা কোন জায়গা দেখো তো 2001 থেকে 2006 থেকে 2012 এবং 2016 সালে
I'd like to cut across to Ayan Kumar Sarkar, who's joining us live from the protest site. Ayan is a part of the Bangladesh Jatiyo Hindu Chhatra Mahajot. Also with us on the broadcast will be Kanzul Karam Kaushik. He's a journalist who is reporting on this ongoing protest. Ayan, first to you. Over 2,000 attacks on Hindus that have been reported in the past month or so, and 30,000 Hindus have united on the ground to raise your voice, to place your demands. Do take us through our viewers in detail to what the situation on the ground is and what you're demanding.
তারপর গান মধ্যে যারা আছে এই রাজা গানে বলবে, এসো তোমরা আমার পিতার আশীর্বাদে পাত্র যারা জগতের সৃষ্টির সময় থেকে যে রাষ্ট্র তোমাদের দেওয়া হবে বলে রাখা আছে তা এবার তোমরা ধীরে ধীরে বলে গ্রহণ করো, কারণ আমি ক্ষুধার্ত ছিলাম আর তোমরা আমাকে খেতে দিয়েছিলে, আমি তৃষ্ণার্ত ছিলাম আর তোমরা আমাকে জল দিয়েছিলে, বিদেশে ছিলাম দিয়েছিলে আশ্রয়, ছিলাম বস্ত্রহীন তোমরা আমাকে পোশাক পরিয়েছিলে, আমি পীড়িত ছিলাম তোমরা আমার যত্ন নিয়েছিলে, ছিলাম কারারুদ্ধ আর তোমরা আমাকে দেখতে এসেছিলে। তখন ধার্মিকেরা
All right, Ayan, that audio is not very clear and I understand why, but we would want to re-establish that connection with you, as I'd also like to bring in Karam Kaushik. Karam, you are covering this protest and it has not been easy to mobilize such a huge force as 30,000 Hindus have united to raise their voice, place their demands. Over 2,000 attacks that have been reported, and they are also asking for the withdrawal of sedition charges against 19 leaders. Further demonstrations that will continue. Take us through the details of the scale of this protest